All right, so today we'll be working on perimeters and areas of rectangles. In the previous lesson, we strictly talked about perimeters, so I will do a little review about perimeters. I will draw a rectangle, and I could say this is 10 centimeters for an example, and this is 4 centimeters. And I can ask you the question, find the perimeter of this rectangle. Again, the definition of the perimeter is the distance around this rectangle. So again, if this is 10 centimeters, the opposite side should be 10 centimeters. If this is 4, the opposite side should be 4 as well. To calculate the perimeter, we must add all sides. So if we start here, 10 plus 4 plus 10 plus 4 to come up with the answer. 10 plus 4 equals 14, plus 10 equals 24, plus 4 equals 28. And again, we must not forget the unit. It is in centimeters. Now I'd like to move on to area. Moving on to area, I have a 1 centimeter grid paper here. So each square is 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, and I drew 2 rectangles over here. To calculate the area of this rectangle, the definition of an area is the inside of a shape. Anything that covers the inside of any particular shape is called the area. So in this case, this would be the area. So grade 1, grade 2, when we ask you to find the area, what you would do is you would slowly count each square. You'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So you'd say the area is 24 squares. But grade 5, of course, we're not going to be following the strategy. We will be using the multiplication strategy, or the strategy using the formula that area is equal to length times width. Area is length times width. A stands for area. So the length of this, so let's count the length. Again, each square is 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the length is 8 centimeter multiplied by the width, which is 1, 2, 3. And the answer of 8 times 3 equals 24. 24 what? Is it 24 centimeters, or is it 24 centimeters something else? Well, when we multiply the centimeter with the centimeter, it's going to give us square centimeters, which means 2 centimeter squared, which is the 2, because you're multiplying 2 sides. Let's move on to this. Again, we're going to use the formula, which is area equal length times width. Again, instead of me writing length times width, now I wrote L times W. So let's count the length, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 10. And over here, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. So again, this is centimeter. This is centimeter. Length equals 10. Width equals 5. 5 times 10 equals 50 centimeter square, or square centimeters. That's basically it for the for finding the area of the shape. Again, if we want to go back to the previous units where we learned multiplication when we were dealing with an array, this is pretty much an array where you have the length and the width and you multiply both numbers with each other. So I'll go back to this page and I'll be giving more examples. I could be drawing a rectangle for you and ask the question, what is the area of this rectangle, given that this side is equal to 5 meters and this side is equal to 3 meters. And that's all what you get. There is no squares, there is no grid paper. It's just basically this. So again, you would go with the formula that we know is area is equal to length times width. We know that the length is 5 meters. The width is 3 meters. 5 times 3 equals 15 meters square, or square meters. Now, since this lesson is combining both perimeters and area, I could bring one rectangle and tell you to find the perimeter for it and then find the area for that rectangle. So again, a question right here that I could be asking is, this is the rectangle, this is 8 centimeters, and this is 4 centimeters, and tell you to find the perimeter and then find the area. So part A would be find the perimeter, part B would be find the area. Again, we find to find the perimeter, we know that the opposite sides are equal. So if this is 8, this must equal 8. If this equals 4, the opposite side also must equal to 4, and we'd go ahead and add them up. So perimeter equals 8 plus 4 plus 8 plus 4. 8 plus 4 equals 12. 8 plus 4 equals 12. 12 plus 12 equals 24 centimeters. Again, because we're just adding the centimeters, it remains centimeters because we're just adding the sides. Area equals length times width. Length equals 8. Width equals 4. So 8 times 4 equals, if you want to break it down, you could do 8 times 2, which is equals to 16, and then multiply that by 2, which is equal 32. Or you could just basically if you know that it's 8 times, if you know the answer directly for 8 times 4, which is equals to 32, you could just say 32 centimeters square. The reason why I broke it down and said 8 times 2 is because in previous lessons, when especially in multiplication, is I tell you to always look for the easiest route or use math facts in order to come up with the answer. You do not necessarily have to memorize the timetables, as I said, as long as you know the given numbers. For example, 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, 5 times 5, all the way to 10 times 10, then you'd be able to work around those numbers. So 8 times 4, if you do not know the answer for that, you could just basically you could do the half double rule, or you could just basically work with the smaller number that you know the answer to, and you move on, and then you move on to the another one. So that's why I said 8 times 2 is 16, and then because you got to double it to equal 4, it equals 32. I'd like to give one more example, just very quick. So let's say this is 5 meters, and this is 2 meters. Or we'll go with, with 2 meters. So what is the perimeter and what is the area? Perimeter, so if this is 5, this is 5, this is 2, this is 2, again, meters. Perimeter equals 5 plus 2 plus 5 plus 2. 5 plus 2 equals 7. 5 plus 2 equals 7. 7 plus 7 equals 14 meters. Again, you need to pay attention to that unit, and I must always see that. Area is length times width. Length is 5. Width is 2. 5 times 2, very basic, equals 10 meter square. And that is pretty much all for the lesson. And these are some examples that I've given just to recap everything that we've done. Again, we started with the perimeter. If I only have 2 sides, the length and the width, we know in a rectangle, opposite sides are equal. So this is 10, this is 10, this is 4 plus 4. You add them up to come up with the answer. To find the area, the formula for it is length times width. Length is 5, width is 3. 5 times 3 equals 15 meter square. Moving on to this example over here, where you must find both the perimeter and the area. Again, opposite sides are equal. You add them up to find the perimeter. Area, you could basically do length times width, find the answer. If it's a bigger number, if we're dealing with 2-digit numbers, for example, 16 times 11, again, break down the 16 into 10 plus 6, and break down the 11 into 10 plus 1, and multiply those digits to come up with the answer, just like what we did in this case, even though they're 1-digit numbers, but sometimes they might get confusing, especially the numbers 7 times 6 or 8 times 6. or 9 times 7. Those are usually difficult numbers for students to remember if you don't know the timetables properly. That's why you must use the math facts. In this case over here, I came up with using half of this, finding the answer of half of this, and then multiplying it by 2 to get the answer. And then we did pretty much the same exact thing over here. Although we had easier numbers to deal with, so that we didn't really have to do break down the multiplication number into anything simpler, because 5 times 2 is 10.